Drage kolege, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to me to be here with you, especially because we discuss about the topic I worked at all my life. I am actually the dean of the faculty, but all the time I work in recreation. Sometimes we call that recreation, sometimes sport for all. And the main problem today I can understand what do you say in Russian, maybe 60–70%, but I cannot explain it and speak in Russian. But if I speak on Serbian, you don't understand me, and I made choice to explain that on English language. It's a very inspirative atmosphere here and very strong discussion, and it's very nice to hear. We have the similar culture, and I can say that the same problem. I try to explain today a few models how we can stimulate the people to make physical activity. We think that it can be the problem. All the time we use equipment, but sometimes I think in the end of 20th century and the beginning of 21st century that technology started to use the people, and we have a lot of problems with them. I think the central problem is in our mind, because when you can make a choice, you make a choice, but what criteria we use? The mankind is rational, and all the time from the history we try to solve our energy. And when I have the stair and elevator, I have dilemma. And 90% of people in his mind know that they must have physical activity. But when they make a choice, they use the elevator, because that is rational. And if you do that every day, all day, we don't have enough physical activity, and it is produced a lot of problem in our living, problem with our health, with our bones, with our heart, with our the main system of our organism. And once upon a time, before 40 years ago, when they start with free movement, they start to use the poster to support the people to be part of something, to be active, to be trim. When you put the one finger up, it means everything will be okay. It's to make a good balance between physical and mental activity. On the other side, the poster is used in the other cultures, I think from Czechoslovakia. Also use that poster all the time. Something new is when you use the brochure. We give the information how they can make activity, how they can take equipment, and how they can have enough activity. The third model can be have some form of spiral, pyramid, and when you have 15 minutes physical activity, you can put the signs or in one part of spirala. You start on spirala. When you finish the spirala, you can put the badge on your coat, and everyone can see you. Oh, you belong to that, you have the badge, we can discuss about that. It's a signal of physical activity and good health, and you belong to someone. The different models of spiral, all some kind of trim program. We put that on the wall, in the working surrounding, or in my house, on the children table, and it supports the people to have a physical activity, and we offer them. Use that. Make the squat, exercise with your arm, and the people try to do that. They have the program, and only can a possibility to work them. And using the bicycle on the other. Especially the problem is the family. And a lot of in different countries they use that models, and when you saw the picture, you see is the place. You have a place, and you can be active together. mother, father, children, and dogs. You can use the bicycle, we can go together to nature, and be family and exercise together. In Czechoslovakia, they have one special project. They call it 12 times per month. It means 3 times per week, 4 weeks in every month, and every month it's 12 by 12. In every month you have something new activity. During the summer it belongs to the water, during the winter it belongs and the combination with snow. And model number 8 is how we check our physical activity. Different sorts of fitness tests, our endurance, strength, flexibility, and normally we teach the people how you can do that, how you can measure your ability, and after 1 month, after 3 months, after 6 months, you can check your result and and see what can you do next. We call it state system, because you found a designer, they make a product, and you stamp in millions of posters, and you only can put the time and place where you can exercise or some sort of activity. That used in Czechoslovakia, we use that in Serbia, we use that you can find that in a lot of countries. Also we have our movement, we call it health and ability, and we have the strong support of state. It was a national project between 17 to 18. We have strong support of state in that area. And in that period we have a lot of season activity, how we, to support people to learn to swimming, or people to learn to going on skiing, and to have a lot of activity. Especially in nature, because in nature we have enough place. The nature is very good hospitality for any sort of physical activity. The model number 11 is manual. Manual, who is for the people who can, who want to learn how can do that, or the people who work like are volunteers in organization, how can they produce the program. The new model how you can support the people is give them diploma. If they learn to ski or they learn to swim, on the end they have a diploma, and people like diploma, not only children. All age of people like the diploma, and like at that moment they have he be pride because he can take his diploma. A lot of activity we have about the with students. How support the students to have enough physical activity. At the beginning of every season we organize one special excursion for students on one mountain nearby Belgrade, and we organize the activity for them. We call that day of health and physical activity. It is on the beginning. Of the end of the season, in the end of May, we organize, we call that index trim competition, and a lot of different activity. Sometimes we organize like a little competition to found a new sort of activity, and you can see a new discipline for the students. In our country, 10 is the best mark, and we organize the students volleyball, 10 people play on the special rules and be together to support them to think about new activity and what can they change the sport and adapt to their interest. Last 40 years we organized the winter fair. Now it is became international winter fair. They organize it. It will be about 20-25 50,000 people who came that weekend, and to see what's happened new with the winter equipment, what can we do, how we can change the old equipment, and what is new in the technique, tactic, methodic. That is not only for the people who is specialists, it's the people who like and enjoy in winter activity. And the big area is school sport competition. That is normally like in every country, and when they give that result, it means about 350,000 children have a possibility to be active, to exercise, to have compete in a different way of activity. It is the good picture. It's very good looking, but it's the same problem. You have a small parallel organization. It's school, it's a sport club, it's NGO organization, commercial program. You have the same children in the lot of program. And when you analyze that 315,000 children, it's the number of children who go to school, and everything starts. But normally, maybe in the best situation, 20% of children really practice the sport. That is the children we recognize on the sports field. What's happened with the 80% of the other children out of regular physical exercise during the physical education? Where is the problem? We have all the time discuss about the roles in the sport. Is the board between sport and free physical activity. But if you want to exercise and compete in sport, you must adapt your sportsmen against the rules. In the recreation, in the sport for all, we start from the other angle. We make the model, we adapt the physical activity and adapt the sport according to his ability. If you have the small children, you must use the slow ball, not so fast ball. If you want to play volleyball, if you have over the 70 years, you can. It's not possible to play with the same balls. You must change the rules. When you change the rules, the people can be part of that game, and people enjoy in that game. If not possible to be part of that game, I don't like that game. Maybe I look at it on the television, but that is not place for me. All the time we go in track of sport because the sport today recognize only the talents. The sport is interest only for the talents because the media support only the best. The media is interesting only for the gold medal. If you are have place number 5 or place number 10, you are not interesting for the media. It's not interesting to looking. We don't like to discuss about that because the media looking his place on the market and produce a lot of problem for all of us who try to support people to have enough physical activity. Because the most children lose the interest not to be in sport. They lose the interest to be physical active. Very often they go on the opposite situation because the system of sport threw out them between 12, 15 years after in that period of selection. And when the sport threw them out, they don't like exercise. And it produced a lot of problems because if you don't have enough physical activity, you have the problem. Our health system have the problem. Me personally will have the problem because I don't have enough physical activity. How we support the children? How we can increase the interest to physical activity?